Ready, set, go.
Hello, welcome to a album reaction. If you're a regular customer, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. I'm Tall Lanky Guy. You can call me Tall Lanky Guy or Connor, either one. Today, as you may have noticed from the video title, we're listening to a new album. Just came out like a few weeks ago. Everybody Needs a Hero, which is the second album by ORLA GARTLAND. I have been a fan of ORLA's for quite a few years now, about as long as I've been a fan of Dodie. I found ORLA through Dodie, and honestly, depending on the day, despite being very close friends, and ORLA is actually the bass player for when Dodie goes on tour and records. They make quite different kinds of music between the two. ORLA is more in the world of sort of like indie pop rock kind of stuff. I'm really, really big fan of hers. She's got a really lovely, unique voice. And yeah, I'm very excited to find out what she's done with this new album. I am actually going to be able to see her play live next month, which I'm very, very excited for. But for now, we got the new album, Everybody Needs a Hero. 12 tracks, just under 40 minutes. Kind of short and snappy, nice and tight. But we're gonna get started right away with the first track, titled Both Can Be True. What two things can also be true? There are a lot of things that can both be true. Is ORLA starting this album asking for some nuance, implying that certain things are not mutually exclusive? I like that. Well, let's find out what she's doing here. Just now realized that I was about to hit play, but had not plugged in my headphones. We're doing great. Okay. Okay. Hi. Did you, ORLA?
Feel so high above the learning curve.
Okay.
4 years in and I feel like a child having realizations.
Okay. All right. Tell us about it.
That I feel your stomach drop. You're in a
Okay.
mood, so good.
This is a piano in a room.
It's like something doesn't fit. If there's a cost, then this is it. This is it. This is it. You make me feel high. You make me feel blue.
I love when artists put like room noise, especially if it's just like a person at a piano. I love this idea of just like, you know, whatever silly, like sort of rough around the edges take that you got while you just set up your phone and hit record and then just ripped out the song. I love when people put tracks like that on an album. It really kind of gets you into the space of the album, especially right at the top of things. You're hearing like the sort of the creaking of the wood in the piano. You're hearing her hit the pedals and things. It's a very like intimate way to start an album.
Oh, make no mistake, I fucking love you.
Aww.
But this shit is hard. I guess that both can be true.
There it is. Okay.
I guess that both can be true.
Okay. Gotcha. And we're gonna cut it off. Okay, is this an end of relationship album? Is this a breakup album? It could be if it ends up being that. I'm just not entirely certain right away. But this very much feels like describing the moment, or describing sort of a hard later stage in a relationship where you kind of get the sense that things are ending here. We've got 2 verses. The song was only a minute and a half long, so we can skip through not skip, but just sort of stroll through the lyrics and then keep moving here. The first verse, if you're gonna have 2, there's literally two verses in the song. This is a bit of a weird thing that I have with like song composition, is sometimes things don't need to be called a chorus. The first verse goes, "I thought I knew it all, I had the nerve to feel so high above the learning curve. But 4 years in, and I feel like a child having realizations. The line goes dead, I feel your stomach drop. You're in a certain mood, I soak it up. It's like something doesn't fit. If there's a cost, then this is it. This is it. This is it." And then the chorus, or as I would put it, the second verse, the only other verse, "You make me feel high, you make me feel blue. I'm stuck in between, frozen and feeling everything. Oh, make no mistake, I fucking love you. But this shit is hard. I guess that both can be true. I guess that both can be true." So maybe this isn't necessarily the end of a relationship, but like a particularly tough moment. Like maybe this conversation or this like exchange is happening like right after a fight. Verse 1, the line goes dead, I feel your stomach drop, you're in a certain mood. It's like something doesn't fit. Like the energy is off. The energy is bad. Like distinctly bad. It's these moments of like she feels like she's learned her way around, relationships and around life. But 4 years in, which I'm assuming this would have been a 4-year relationship, and I feel like a child having realizations. Yeah, like especially as someone that has, been in a relationship that ended up going almost 4 years long. When that shit ends, it comes out of nowhere. Because at 4 years, like you're thinking long term. You're thinking this is maybe the person, or hopefully the person that I end up with, or that I end up marrying. And to have that end is a harsh realization. I wonder if the cost is like the cost of like falling in love. The cost of falling in love is risking, what this song is about, which is these moments of things falling apart and sort of people, distancing themselves. There's always that risk. Whenever I hear people being like, I don't know if I want to like, get into it right now, because like I don't know if I can handle that like risk of things going badly. That risk is never going to go away. If you're not ready for that risk, then maybe you're not ready for a long-term relationship. Like you just kind of like there's no point in any romantic pursuit where that risk is not there. And at a certain point, especially as things, start going well and you consider each other, you consider them your partner, and things become long-term, then you get a little bit comfortable and you learn to kind of ignore the element of that risk, because you don't want to be sitting in the fear of that possibility. You don't want to have it in the back of your head as much as it can be. But unfortunately, like that risk, at least as far as I've learned, never goes away, which can be hard to ignore for when you do end up, when or if, of course. It's not necessarily a certain thing of like if you end up with a person that you're with for the long haul. it's just kind of a reality, is that like relationship and love and emotional vulnerability implies risk, and you can't get away from that. And I love that when we finally get to the title, this shit is hard, I fucking love you, I guess that both can be true. Yeah, that's a hard place to be in. You still feel these strong feelings for the other person, but you get to a point where you just don't really know what to do, because you don't want to leave them because you love them, but also this shit is hard, and it's difficult to sit in that place where both things are true and kind of let that sort that out. But I think sometimes it is necessary to kind of sit in that discomfort of things being hard and still having strong feelings. And I don't know, in my experience, sometimes sitting in that just lets certain thoughts fall into place so that you can try and start to work things out. But those are my thoughts on a 1.5-minute long song. Let's keep going. Track number 2, Sound of Letting Go, in all caps. Are we letting go? Is this the point? Are we leading from the this shit is hard but I fucking love you into this is what it sounds like to let go. This is what it sounds like to just wash my hands of this shit and move on. Let's see what letting go sounds like. Whoa. Oh. Okay. Is this like a... Oh, it's a triplet swing. That's cool. Ooh. What it? Ooh, I love the stomp clap. Ooh. There's also the little, like, she's got her little, like, voice, just sort of voiced notes over that, just kind of like pulsing in, like a, I think it's like a boop, 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 boo, doo, 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 doo. I think this is the rhythm that she's going with. It works so well with the, like, very, like, boom, ga, ga, boom. It just fits together so well. Oh, I love this immediately. Ooh. Hello. Hello, synthesizer. Unless that's a bass or a guitar. Ooh. What is that? Some interesting... Okay. Ooh. Then take it away. Oh! Oh! Okay, I can hear it. Ooh! Okay, and then we drop. Yeah! Oh my gosh. She's using, like, the sparseness. Like, we got some weird, like, percussion going on here. People are hitting things, and they're not necessarily drums. We're hearing a lot of, like, thumping and clapping. I thought I heard someone, like, hitting... It sounded like someone hitting something with, like, a spoon or something. I don't know. It was probably just a drumstick. But the thing that they were hitting was not a drum, and was probably not a cymbal or any piece of drum kit. And it's all very, like, messy and, like, not kept together. But I think that's kind of part of the point, is we're in this mindset of, like, you're letting it be messy. This is what it sounds like to let things go and just let that happen. Let out that energy. This is, oh my god, what a strong opener. I sit down and I wonder. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a bass. I love that. Oh, what the hell? Ooh.
It all becomes clear. I've been playing God. I wanted to be the one to control you. How you look,
Damn.
how you act. What do you think about that? That's the sound of letting
Oh,
go. And
we're building
that
in there.
so good.
Nice.
Letting go. What do you hear? I can't change you, can't change me, can't change anything. So
Ooh.
yes, I gotta let it go. That's the sound of letting go.
Ooh.
That's the sound
Nice.
of letting go. When matters, it feels
There's
so
some
good.
crash.
Silence on
There we
the
go.
telephone. Oh, do you hear it? I can't change you, can't change me.
Ooh, that descending melody there where it's the like, I can't change you, can't change. Like, is such a, it's like almost dissonant. Like, it sounds a little bit off, but it works so well with the rest of this chorus. Like, it's just this moment of like, oh boy, we're getting a little unstable here. Oh my god, there's so many cool choices going on in here, and it hits so hard. Ooh, okay, and then we... What are we... A bunch of weird, like, sampled drum sounds? Ooh. Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit! Oh, I got a good feeling about this album. Ooh, boy. Okay. I loved the... They're not like drum machine sounds, but they are like sampled recordings of actual drums. It like had that weird like cutoff where it's like just so... It's like very precise and like cut off so that you can tell that there's that weird like produced element of it that kind of like adds to the very stompy sound of this song. So much cool stuff going on there. I would love to know about sort of the making of this song. I'm just a sucker for like stompy triplet swing. We know that. If you've been on my channel, you know, for a while now, you'd know I'm a sucker for a triplet swing. Let's get into these lyrics. Yeah, I'm very much getting the sense that this is about ending things and not trying to be clean about it. Just saying what needs to be said and not paying a whole lot of attention to, you know, the fallout of it, which, you know, is a risk in itself. Sometimes in those states you can, you know, say things that you're not necessarily proud of afterward, but that's its own deal. Let's go to verse 1. Go to the city if you wanted to. It's laid out right in front of you. You could take over it all, maybe. Doggy dog world, baby. So it's those eyes are interesting. It's like she's about to say something, and then she thinks of something else to say. I wonder if this is like this first one feels like an ultimatum of sorts. Like, yeah, you can go out to the city if you want to. I've laid out my terms very, very clearly. Like, you can make this choice and it's going to have ramifications. Like, you could have more power over this situation if you want. It's a dog-eat-dog world. She's very much setting up this tone of like, I'm done being polite about this. Pre-chorus, it feels mad trying the same damn thing over and over, and take my hand. You know I'm your girl, but I'm impatient and cynical. Waiting for a miracle, I hate it. I can see every feeling written on your face. Boy, put your foot on the brake. Paint a picture in your mind of us in a cage, then take it away. Interesting. Okay, so maybe this isn't in the midst of a relationship. Maybe she's warning someone about sort of their potential chemistry or lack thereof. Boy, put your foot on the brake. Paint a picture of your mind in a cage. In your mind of us in a cage, then take it away. Like, take a moment and think about, you know, me as you know me in a relationship with you as you know yourself. And then look at it, know that we'd be like trapped together, and then put that away. Like, realize that neither of us want that. That's not, like, the reality of that is not actually something that would be good for either of us. In theory, it might sound nice, it might sound fun, but in practice, it would be a nightmare. Is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. But she can very much feel, she can tell that he likes her, she can tell that she likes him. Like, you know I'm your girl, but I'm impatient and cynical. I'm, like, she's definitely attracted to this person, but she also knows her own flaws and how that can affect a person, maybe particularly how it might affect this other person based on their own personality. Chorus is, that's the sound of letting go, and man, does it feel so good. That's the sound of letting go. Oh, do you hear it? I can't change you, can't change me, can't change anything, so I guess I gotta let it go. That's the sound of letting go. So maybe this is more a thing of, like, they're in what I would consider the pre-romantic era. They both have clocked that they're both attracted to each other. Maybe they've gone on a date or two. Maybe they've just been flirting. This is a moment of, like, this is sort of a moment of reckoning for their relationship, of just, like, I think we just gotta let it go. We just gotta, like, sort of eject this idea or the possibility, or not be excited about that, about the potential of that. I can't change you, and you can't change me, and we can't change anything. Neither of us should just wait for the other person to become a better person for us, and vice versa. That's not going to be healthy, so we should just let it go. We, as we are right now, are not good for each other, so let's just put it away. The second pre-chorus was also interesting. Oh, it feels mad doing the same damn thing over and over, and take my hand, it all becomes clear. I've been playing God. I wanted to be the one to control you, how you look, how you act. What do you think about that? Okay, so she's holding herself accountable. She's got a pretty good level of self-awareness here, of, like, having these problems, and that you take my hand and it all becomes clear. She is aware of the fact that in relationships she tends to be a bit controlling, or at least in the context of this particular relationship, she's ended up being quite controlling. Or maybe in past relationships she's noticed that pattern of behavior within herself, and now she's sort of acknowledging that, and then, like, putting the ball in the other person's court of, like, this, I have been known to be controlling in a particularly, like, egregious way. You need to know about this, and you need to make your own choice based on that knowledge. Like, you need to think to yourself, is that something you want to be with? Oh man, that's really strong stuff, but specifically just, like, musically, that was so much fun to listen to. Really, really big fan of that. Glad she's taking stock of these things. I'm glad she's putting it out there. I hope that this song is based on, I'm assuming the song is based on real conversations that she may or may not have had with another person, because these are important conversations to be had when they're needed, and you got to have those conversations sooner than later to minimize whatever damage can be done. We're going to keep going, though, to track 3, Little Chaos. Just a little chaos. Small person, but chaos. Or maybe it's a little amount of chaos. Maybe it's a lot of chaos in a small package. I think it's the latter. But, you know, only one way to find out. All right, we're clapping. Oh, all right. Okay. Ooh, a squiggly little guitar. Okay. Woo.
Wish that you could make all my decisions for me.
I love those. I love that arpeggio.
And overrule, ignore me. And it's a good day for a meltdown.
Is it?
My thoughts getting too loud.
Woo.
Take me out, take me home, turn me off, turn me on.
Okay.
I'm your friend, I'm your girl,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
your chaos.
Okay. Gotcha.
Little chaos. You can thank my mom for that. I can't
Oh, no.
promise I'll never freak out.
If I had a nickel for every time that Orla has mentioned her mom in her music, I'd have at least 2 nickels. We all know what it's like to have 2 nickels for every time something's happened. Nice. Obviously, I'm assuming that this album, I don't know how much of this album would have been made around the same time that Chapel Roan would be making Midwest Princess, I think was the title. But that little audio clip of just yelling a little louder for the ones in the back, it feels very Chapel Roan-y. But I'm assuming that at least some of this album probably would have been made around the same time as Chapel Roan's album. So maybe they just have ended up making similar choices of their own accord on their own paths. Entirely possible. Okay, hello bass. There's Orla on the bass.
If you really want me, if you really
Ooh.
want me, if you really want me,
I like that.
If you really want me,
I like that guitar part there.
If you really want me,
Ooh.
take me as I am. If you really want me, if you really want me,
Ooh.
if you really want me, take me as I am. Pick me up, take me on, turn me off, turn me on. I'm your friend, I'm your girl, I'm your little chaos.
All right, a couple of thoughts. First off, that little robotic voiced chaos, chef's kiss choice. Lovely, that correct choice. But also, one of the things that I love about Orla, there are other artists that do this as well. But one of the things that I love that Orla does with her vocals is kind of lets herself, lead off of. She kind of lets herself be off tune, in a very specific way. She kind of goes into a bit of a sort of speak singing kind of mode for certain parts of her songs. She did it similarly in the Fizz album, where like not only does she kind of do the speak singing, like sort of the pick me up, take me home, turn me up, turn me on kind of deal, like she does that, but also on that last take me as I am, where she kind of like gets a little bit more harsh, where it's like take me as I am, and she like really lets that kind of ring out. Such like simple little like vocal choices that add a lot of character to her music. Ooh. And then that. Nice. Ooh, end it with a bass note. Nice. Love that. This album is a lot of fun so far. We're only 3 tracks in, but I'm having a great time so far. Got a pretty straightforward sense of what this song is about. She's basically just like, you gotta know what you're dealing with if you want to be around me as a friend, as anything else. Here are some things you should know about what I'm like. So let's take a look here. Verse 1. I wish that you could make all my decisions for me, jump in my brain and overrule, ignore me. And it's a good day for a meltdown. All my thoughts getting too loud, wish that you could make all my decisions for me. So we're getting a little bit of ADHD vibes going on here. I don't say that lightly. This literally sounds like someone that has ADHD. I'm no one to diagnose, but as someone that has had many people that do have it in my life, that's what this sounds like. And also this thing of like having another friend that's a little slightly more chill, a little bit more relaxed energy, and just saying to that friend, can you just make all my choices for me? Just like hop in here, do a little bit of ratatouille business, ignore everything that's going on in my brain. Please, don't worry, like, don't mind the mess, just make my decisions for me. Good day for a meltdown, all my thoughts getting too loud. There's too much going on in her own brain for her to be able to make her own choices, is kind of what she's expressing. And then chorus, pick me up, take me home, turn me off, turn me on. I'm your friend, I'm your girl, I'm your little chaos. For better and for worse, this is what I am. If you're into that, great. Just be aware that, I'm not entirely stable, not entirely predictable. Hopefully it's not to a dangerous extent, but, just be aware that, like, she's a bit on the chaotic side. And yeah, that's kind of what the bridge gets into. The bridge sort of says the quiet part out loud, which is, if you really want me, take me as I am. Right? If you're attracted to this, if you think I'm a cool person, you gotta take me on my best and my not necessarily worst, but you gotta be aware that you're getting the whole package, and not be surprised when it's not as fun as it can be. In the later parts of the chorus, there's an extra bit at the end, which is, took a left, hit a nerve, took a right, hit the curb. Is there room in your life for a little chaos? Took a left, hit a nerve. Maybe she's a little on the sensitive side. Maybe she has been known to like overreact to certain things without processing them fully. Took a right, hit the curb. Maybe just made a slightly too wrong choice and has now lost all energy, is breaking down. Is there room in your life for a little chaos? Like, do you have the mental and emotional space and time for a little chaos? If so, great. If not, fair enough. She said, I think a lot about how to move through the world alongside a partner, and for a long time I wanted to show up in relationships as easygoing and palatable, never taking up too much space. Now, I can't think of anything worse. I can be loud, funny, clumsy, loyal, intelligent, annoying, caring, angry. This song is about showing up as all of it all at once. I think dropping the act and showing your true self feels like the most vulnerable thing you can do. It is literally, yeah, showing your true self is one of the more vulnerable things you can do. That's literally what vulnerable means, is you're showing every side of yourself, including the parts that can cause some pain, both yours and the other person's. For certain people, certainly myself, it can take a lot to kind of open up all of your sides of yourself to someone. You got to feel safe, right? You can't just go in first date and be like, this is everything you got to know about me, and this is everything you could know about me. This is all of the parts of my personality. Some of them are weird, some of them are a little off kilter, but they go alongside all of the stuff, all of the things that are just kind of pretty cool. There are the parts of yourself that can be easygoing and palatable, and you don't always need to take up that much space. But that's not the entirety of who you are, probably. And the other pieces of that are the things that kind of you need to fit in with the other person. It's the other things that you might be a little bit more hesitant to show that make the real difference in how the other person reacts to those things. And that's scary. It's scary, but I admire Orla for sort of making the mental note to not try and hide it, you know? Let's keep going. To Backseat Driver. Is she backseat driving, or is she complaining about backseat driving? Kind of the two chances I'm looking for here. Ooh, oh, we're strutting. Oh, that's a.
No one likes an angry girl.
Oh,
no one
okay.
likes a liar.
Ooh, I love the texture of that
likes
synth.
Conversation, walking on the wire.
Unless that's just her bass with a few effects on it. Ooh, okay, nice.
Guilt is like a bad apple running to the cold.
All right. Ooh. Oh.
Couldn't even tell you what the hell.
The other very distinctly Orla element, the ornament you might call it, is her like melodic choices on the guitar. Loves to throw in those sort of like weird off notes that sort of like doo doo boo doo doo woo, notes that are just kind of like on the fringes of whatever key the song is in, to kind of keep you on guard, keep you on your toes. It's a very specific chaotic energy that I appreciate very much.
Shut up, backseat driver. This has gone too far.
Okay.
You've taken up enough space. Now get out of my car.
Okay, I
'Cause
see.
there is only one way that this is gonna go.
Right.
90 miles an hour flying straight into the wall.
Oh. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, cool. That's fun. There's so much, particularly of this song, there's so much of this that reminds me of The Secret to Life, which, unfortunately, I tried to have that album reaction up on the YouTube channel for a bit, and then it was exclusive on Fourth Wall, and then it was back up on YouTube for a little bit, and then got killed again. So I'm planning on putting it back up on Fourth Wall, but if you want to know about that album, it's great. You can just go listen to it, but if you want to know my thoughts on the Fizz album, while we're talking about parallels between Orla's music and Fizz, let me know, because it was a good video. I was angry that I couldn't put it on YouTube, and I would love it if people were able to see it.
Flying through my teeth and driving straight into the wall.
Yeah. That's fun. Okay. Ooh. That's okay. Ooh. All right, back into the drums, percussion, and bass synth. Lovely. Lovely. What a bop. What an absolute jam. So much freaking fun. I love the different, like, that was so groovy. And like a good walking down the street song. I'm guessing the Backseat Driver is herself, but it's sort of her anxiety, I think. The backseat drivers are the like insecurities and anxieties that kind of become like a bad influence on her actual decision making. Verse 2, we're starting with. Guilt. It's like a bad apple, rotten to the core. I couldn't even tell you what the hell I even said that for. I don't know how we got here. Next thing I know, I was disassociating. Pretty sure you can just say dissociating. But maybe that's not a word. Disassociating, and it got out of control. So this is kind of the result of this bad driver, the backseat driver, we're getting driven by guilt. Bad apple, rotten to the core. It's not something that you necessarily want to have you driving your decision making for long term. It gets you into certain situations where you say things and then you, upon realizing what you just said, are like, I don't actually know why I said that. Which, to a certain extent, maybe you do. Maybe you do actually know what you said that for. It's coming from a deeper emotion that you maybe need to sort out on your own. That's the work that needs to get done there. Don't know how we got here. Next thing I know, I was disassociating and it got out of control. So we're in this incident where you've said something mean or insensitive or inappropriate and you don't understand where that came from because you haven't put in the work to acknowledge where it would have come from. But now you realize that you've said it, it's out there, and you're just kind of phasing out. And phasing out also doesn't help the situation. I've talked in the past about, when I get super anxious, sometimes I kind of lock up and I go nonverbal. And it seems like Orla is going through a similar thing where in the midst of trying to sort of get herself out of whatever situation she's gotten herself into, she just can't find the right thing to say, and then she just kind of shuts down, and then things get out of control from there. Pre-chorus, shut up, backseat driver. This has gone too far. You've taken up enough space. Now get out of my car. There's only one way that this is gonna go. 90 miles an hour, flying straight into the wall. So yeah, running off of the theory that backseat driver is this guilt, anxiety, shame, insecurity, that if that's what's driving you, what's driving your decision making, and it takes up too much space in your brain, there's only one way that it's going to go, and it's going to go fast and furious, literally, and you're going to hit a wall. You're going to hit some bad times. And then the chorus is, after a bunch of laws, she just says, I wouldn't trust me either, right? In that state where I'm just running off of anxiety and insecurity and guilt, yeah, I'm not making trustworthy decisions. And she's sort of saying this to someone that it implies that they no longer trust her. She's like, yeah, no, that's fair. Having worked out that shit now, I wouldn't trust that version of me either. Then verse 3 gets more into the sort of insecurity, anxiety deal, where it says, guess I get scared of losing your affection every time, and something turns me in the wrong direction. Could you still love me if you knew what's on my mind? Get scared of losing your affection. Yeah, that's fair. That's reasonable. Like I said, every relationship has inherent risk of losing, of things not working out, because, too much damage gets done. And something turns me in the wrong direction. But if things are already working out, then it's not worth working off of that anxiety. If things are going fine, you don't need to be operating on the fear of losing their affection, because that danger has not presented itself. And the last line, could you still love me if you knew what's on your mind? There's only really one way to find out, and that's by saying what's on your mind, right? So often people bottle things in and kind of close themselves off from the people that they're in relationships with, or just the people that are close to them, because they're afraid of losing that relationship if they are honest about how they feel, even though those are just feelings. It reminds me once again of the Steven Universe song Here Comes a Thought, where it's it's just a thought. You can be honest about it. You can say that these are thoughts that you've had, or these are feelings that you've felt. But if you haven't acted on those things, if you have acted on those things, then you can explain that and hope maybe apologize for it. But just because you have feelings or thoughts that are maybe not in your best interest or not in the best interests of others, if you're not acting on those things, it's good to be honest about them. it actually makes a huge difference in those relationships, and will actually allow them to love you more because you've been honest with them and you've shown that vulnerability to them, and goes a long way. I think that's the main crux of the thing here. So let's keep moving. Number 5, the hit. This is it. This is the one. This is the one. This is the big song that's going on the radio. This is the hit. She knew it when she wrote it, and we're about to enjoy it for ourselves. Ooh. We're in that 6/8, baby.
So powerful.
I like it. All right. Oh. A little more intimate here. That was a cool bass part. Nice. Aww. Oh. Okay. Orla has a very specific talent. Like, so often, a lot of my favorite songs of hers are the ones where she goes a little bit harder, but she has these other, like, much more sort of personal, a little bit slightly softer songs. This is still in, you've still got a bit of the rock sound with, you got your guitars and your bass and drums in there, but it's a much more like sensitive tone to it. And these tend to be the ones where just the lyrics alone stick with me and end up being some of my favorite songs of hers. I feel like this one might be no exception to that. Ooh. Oh, I like those drums. That was so cool. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Oh, we're getting a little. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, we're reversing some shit. Ooh, very interesting. This is so cool. Ooh. Nice. Nice, and right back into it. That's so cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. That everybody wants to rule the world kind of rhythm, sort of shuffly. I love it. Cool. And I was a really big fan of these lyrics as I was reading them through. So when she released it, I guess she said, "New song, The Hit, is about how closeness leads to feeling deep empathy for another in a relationship, and how dangerous and consuming that can be. It's like a voodoo doll thing. You're so connected it hurts. It's a nice gesture because you're admitting you care about that person so much that when they're in pain, you feel it too. But there's a point that it can go too far, and that's just not healthy or sustainable." Part of writing a song about something is having like processed a lot of your thoughts about it, and doing a lot of work, so that you actually have something to put into a song that feels cohesive and actually feels like you're making a point, even if that point doesn't necessarily resolve. It's necessary to kind of have something to actually say on it, some kind of commentary or analysis on these feelings that you've felt. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of introspection. This feels like a very introspective album so far, which I really admire Orla for making. Verse 1. You're so powerful, charged up to 100. You can make me feel numb, you can make me feel everything. We're identical. We spend our whole lives being scared of each other and scared of admitting it. We're starting out not necessarily in a romantic relationship. This is just a close, long-term relationship. Maybe friends, maybe siblings, but you know each other so well and you are so almost in sync with each other that you have this deep emotional connection where you can, when you're together, the highs are super high and the lows end up being super low. We spend our whole lives being scared of each other and scared of admitting it, sort of realizing the emotional power that the other person has over you and scared of admitting it, which hopefully she has had the courage to admit it since. Pre-chorus is now, where do I start? Where do you end? All I wanted was a friend. A really cool sort of transition between that verse into that chorus. Kind of seeing the whole arc of things of like, all I wanted was just like a friend, just someone to spend time with. And all of a sudden it's hard to tell where I start and where I end and you begin. Like we've sort of traded off so much of each other that like it's hard to know like what of ourselves we get from the other person and vice versa. And then the chorus is, but it's some kind of magic, some voodoo doll shit. You get the cut and I feel the sting. Burn alive or burn the bridge. Oh, you get the punch and I feel the hit. It's like you get the punch and I feel the hit. And there's that powerful empathy going on there. This other person has been hurt, but you're the one that feels it. And I'm glad that she kind of acknowledges in that description that it's just not healthy or sustainable, because on one hand, it's good to be empathetic towards your friends. It's good to have that capacity. Far be it from me to decry empathy, but it gets to a certain point where you do need to acknowledge that those experiences are the other person's. Like, you can say that you feel bad for them, but I think it's bold to assume that whatever their pain is being felt, you are feeling the equal amount. As close as you may be to this other person, no human can really truly know the other person's like inner thoughts or inner workings or like inner pains, really. We just don't have that capacity for that kind of connection. But we have this relationship of like, if this other person is hurt, then I am also immediately feeling that pain with them. And at a certain point, like she says, that's not healthy or sustainable. At a certain point, you got to take care of yourself. You gotta allow that sort of emotional buffer, especially if you want to be there for them. Like, you can't be in their pain if you're trying to help them, because like, you're not in their pain, you're in your pain. All the pain that you are feeling is in fact yours. It's valid pain because you are feeling for someone that you care about that is hurting, but that is still your pain, and it is your unique pain that is different from theirs. The second verse I really wanted to look at, I don't want to burden with how I've been feeling. It's just my perception of what you're perceiving. I'm thinking your thoughts before you even get there. Oh, it's typical. When it's good, it's so good, but it's always like I had nothing to do with it. Those first few lines, particularly just my perception of what you're perceiving, I'm thinking your thoughts before you even get there. Like, yes, you have this deep connection with this person. You know them super, super well and intimately, but you are not the same person, and you don't have a telepathic like connection with them. You're not in their head. Whatever you think they're feeling, that's as far as you can get. You can't like be in their head and feel exactly what they're feeling, because you're a separate person and you need to acknowledge yourself as such. When it's good, it's so good, but it's always like I had nothing to do with it. I wonder if that's also a thing of like tied up with I don't want to burden with how I'm been feeling. A lot of the time people, when they have like certain anxieties or insecurities about themselves in relationships, they tend to discount their own contributions to the relationship, right? They're just there for the other person. The other person kind of becomes the main event to them, right? And you don't want to burden with how you're feeling, right? But it's a two-way street. Like, you have feelings as well, and you have your own role in it, both positive and negative. Like, your lack of help is felt and your help is felt. You do have something to do with it, and you're not, like, you sharing what you're feeling is not a burden. That's just what it means to be in a close relationship with someone. Really strong work there. And then the bridge. Do you remember when we first met? Because I do. I was so obsessed with your accent. Had to know you. Two weirdos, two sisters, thick as thieves. It was magic. I felt it. Maybe nothing that good can just be good. End up caring and sharing way more than we should. Two weirdos, two sisters, too good to be true. I never know how to let it go when I'm this close to you. And that is kind of the reckoning of it. That's kind of her taking stock of what sort of the problem is here. Is they've gotten so close. She feels so deeply for this person and is so invested in them that you end up caring and sharing maybe more than you should. Maybe you forget to set up, healthy boundaries. There's nothing wrong with like knowing someone else intimately, as long as you're doing so in a way that is healthy for you and for what you need, and knowing what you need. And sometimes it is important to make sure that you are allowing necessary space in that relationship. It is hard to know those things. It's hard to know what those boundaries are and how to set them when you are that engrossed in a relationship. So I'm going to leave it there. A lot going on here. Orla's working through some real complicated relationship shit. And I'm here for it. I am, in fact, here. Well, I'm here for the music in general, but the music happens to include her working through some complex shit in a relatively mature way, which I am also here for. Let's keep going to track 6. Simple. Maybe there's absolutely nothing complicated in the song. It's such a... This song is going to be just a single 4/4 4-beat measure. You get 4 quarter notes of the same note, and that's the whole track. It's probably not that, because I can see that the track is 3.5 minutes long. Maybe that's just, 3.5 minutes of silence after those 4 notes. Only one way to find out.
1, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Okay. Ooh. I like the sound of that guitar.
And get high with you.
Aww.
I wanna eat yogurt on the couch with you.
Hell yeah.
But when I'm fucking 40, will I feel this way?
Maybe. It's possible.
I think when I'm 40, I'll still feel this way.
Good.
I wanna talk about the scary
Aww.
future with you.
Okay. Aw, this is
I
cute.
wanna talk about all the things that we shouldn't do.
Aw.
But I can tell you what it feels like.
What does it feel like, Orla? Please tell me.
It's a coffee with an old friend. It's a lie.
All right.
On a weekend.
Aw, we're
It's
into the
my
double time.
friends looking at you.
Aw.
Like they're proud of you for once.
Oh.
It's like a long flight, but with good food. Oh, I never thought it could be this simple.
Aww. Oh, man. Oh, boy. This song is going to make me feel things. I was speaking in future tense there. This song made me feel things already. We're a minute and a half in. It's made me feel things. It's making me feel things. And I have a feeling it's going to continue making me feel things.
Oh, you don't like the football, you're the same as me.
Nice. I also am not huge on the football.
But I cry at man bonding on the TV.
Hell yeah. That's fair.
Head to toe in words, you know I love it when they hug.
Okay.
You sit there, pat my back and roll your eyes.
That's so cute.
Never thought it could be this
I love that.
simple.
Ooh. A little bit of halftime. I like what the drummer's doing.
Don't look now, you'll only freak yourself out.
Ooh.
Look
I like this.
around, suddenly everything is fine. 'Cause I could be anywhere tonight. I could be anywhere tonight. But I just wanna stay in and get high with you.
Yeah.
That one felt sick. Should we listen?
Hell yeah. Oh my god, I love when they leave in like post-recording thoughts. Also, it's very rarely like that enthusiastic. A lot of the time it's just like, nice. And then the recording ends, but I love that she's just immediately like, that was good. I felt good. Should we give that a look? Big fan. Big fan of that shit. So this is just a cute little love song from what I can tell, but it's so like grounded. It's so grounded in like the ordinary, like sort of day-to-day, like just what it looks like to kind of be in a relationship with someone in the 21st century, and like just literally what that looks like, you know, to, you know, peek in on just two people that love each other that are just hanging out. Let's take a look at this. Verse 1. I just want to stay in and get high with you. I want to eat yogurt on the couch with you. But when I'm fucking 40, will I feel this way? I think when I'm 40, I'll still feel this way. I want to talk about the scary future with you. I want to talk about all the things that we shouldn't do. Someone said love's a mystery, and they're right, but I can tell you what it feels like. I think this is what kind of like was hitting me, is this very mature, like accounting for the uncertainty and carrying on regardless when it comes to romance. And that's what you have to do. Like I said, like I was saying earlier, like any process of getting close to someone unfortunately inherently includes an element of risk, of, you know, being hurt from that relationship, or that relationship ending and being sad about that and the pain of that loss. But she makes this point of like, I don't, like, maybe I'll feel differently when I'm 40, but I don't think so. Just from judging from how I feel right now, there's a chance I'll still feel the same way in you know, 15, 20 years, right? And that's such a precious and like valuable thought and sentiment to express. I'm really, really glad that she put that in, that she wrote that line. And things like, I want to talk about the scary future with you. Talking about the future is in itself scary because you are kind of looking that fear of things ending in the face and be like, I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to talk about what we're going to do, assuming this works out in the long run. right? You're kind of acknowledging that assumption and carrying on regardless, which I think is so, so important. Someone said love's a mystery, and they're right, but I can tell you what it feels like. Yeah, so much of love ends up being uncharted territory. Even if you've, been in past relationships that have gone on for a while, as soon as you're in the next one, that's a whole new person. There's going to be new things. There's going to be new elements that you're going to encounter that you need to work out for the first time. There's so much to navigating all of that you're just not ready for. But what does it feel like to be in that? And according to the first chorus, it's a coffee with an old friend. It's a lie-in on the weekend. It's your parents looking at you like they're proud of you for once. It's like a long flight, but with good food. It's the right song for the right mood. It's like magic being with this person, or it's like magic being with you is the line. Oh, I never thought it could be this simple. And the fact that she's sort of locked into or unlocked that simplicity is a really, really powerful thing. Accounting for these simple moments that make a relationship what it is, like noticing when your parents look at you and see that they're glad that you are where you are in life. That's such a special thing to have and to remember. Long flight, but with good food. It's just a good time, and it goes for a while. The people that you can just literally spend all day with. You gotta appreciate those. And then she actually changes it in the second chorus, which is, it's the money in the handshake. It's a deep breath on a hard day. It's accepting that you're older, and then nothing stays the same. And it's the breakfast that you made me. It's a smile from a baby. It's like magic being with you, and never thought it could be this simple. Money in the handshake, just these silly little inside jokes and gestures and meaningful short little moments. Deep breaths on a hard day, just unwinding with that person that you feel like you can unwind around and be relaxed with in the same space. And breakfast made by the other person that you love. Smiles from babies. That's just a good thing. That's just an objectively good thing. I love it. You just gotta love when you get smiled at from a baby. That's not necessarily relevant to the whole relationship thing. That's just a nice thing, I think. And then the outro, which I think is also really strong, is, trust me, babe, don't look down. You'll only freak yourself out. Look around. Suddenly, everything is fine. I don't know what I'm on about, but I'm your girl, no doubt. All I know is I could be anywhere tonight. But I just want to stay in and get high with you, which has the same energy as the line in Everything Everywhere All at Once, where the guy is like, in another life, I would still be happy just doing laundry and taxes with you. It's the same energy. There are a million other, far more glamorous things that maybe I could be doing with my time. But what I want, and it can often be hard to, take this at face value, is to hear someone say, what I want is to stay in and get high with you. Because so much of that implies, just fellowship and just hanging out and just enjoying the company of you and the other person. I could be doing things, I could be doing any activity, any super fun, fabulous thing, but I want to just be around you and hang out, which I think is really, really special. Those are my thoughts on that one. Really, really cute stuff. I'm loving this album, and we're halfway through. Track 7, Late to the Party. I like arriving late to the party. I don't like arriving, because usually if you arrive at a party right at the time that the party starts, you feel like you have to be part of the group of people that have to get the party started. And I'm not the kind of person that can get a party started. So I prefer to arrive to a party when it's already started. When the people that have the capacity to get a party started are already there and have already done so. So, both I and Orla are arriving late to the party. Featuring Declan McKenna, who I'm not familiar with. But let's see how Declan sounds accompanying Orla.
See, I don't like to think
okay.
about your lovers who came before me, but
okay.
I know they exist. The
Oh,
ones who got
interesting.
away.
Late to the
I
party.
got problems to
Gotcha.
pick with all your lovers who came
Interesting.
before me. Okay, so maybe Rachel was right.
Okay.
Everybody just walks all over you, and now when we fight, I am on your side.
This is... Now, I'm just thinking when I go to... Because I'm going with my partner, Rachel, to Orla's concert next month. And if Orla plays this song live, that's going to be a fun moment of just being like, maybe Rachel was right. They usually are. Rachel is usually right. Just wanted to leave that out there.
See, I wouldn't bite or try to change your mind.
Ooh, oh, we're slowing down? Oh.
Oh.
A little bit of a tempo shift? Okay.
Let me go back, shake her hand. I wanna give her my thanks for the damage she's done.
Oh, okay. Ooh. What? Ooh, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of textures going on. Ooh. Ooh. That's nasty. Okay. Right.
I gave you your favorite t-shirt, she gave you trust issues. Look back at it now and don't scribble it out when all the words
Oh my God.
are in your head.
So we usually look at lyrics after the whole song, but oh my God. I gave you your favorite t-shirt, she gave you your trust issues. Holy shit. Oh, I wasn't ready for a line like that. That hits a little closer than I would like it to, but here we are.
Let me go back, shake her hand. I wanna give her my thanks.
I like that lower harmony going on there.
And she's just like I suspected, a stranger, but the two of us are connected. Let me go back, shake her hand. I wanna give her my thanks for the damage she's done.
Ooh! Ooh! What? Oh! Oh, that hit! Okay. Hi, Declan. All right. Ooh. All right. Cool. I like how weird this one is. Okay. Yep.
Problem becomes your problem, and then that problem is mine.
Oh, yeah. All right, fun little guitar, fun little solo. All right. Nasty, disgusting, and I love it. I love those triplets. That slow down is so nice. Holy shit, man. This album is oops all bangers so far. Like, we're only a little bit over halfway through, but it's been oops all bangers so far. That's one of my favorites. That's immediately one of my favorites on this album so far. Declan, nice job. Sounded great. Those lower harmonies reminded me a lot of some of the more recent Two Door Cinema Club music that they've been making. Like the singer of Two Door has been like really going into his lower range in the more recent albums, and it reminded that Declan's harmonies in there reminded me a lot of that. Orla's got a few things to say about this one. Late to the Party is a big old bratty song about resenting the baggage that you inherit when you love someone and yearning for a time when we were all a blank slate. I wanted a song on the record that shifted in pace a lot, which it did. Something fun and loud, something indulgent. I first wrote Late to the Party over a couple of solo sittings in my studio, mumbling out the lyrics while playing drums. Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't know that she also plays drums. Regarding Declan, for me, he is one of the absolute greats, a properly timeless artist and writer. This particular part feels like I should be reading in Irish accent. For me, he is one of the absolute greats, a properly timeless artist and writer. We worked on the song remotely at first, sending stems back and forth, and then jumped in the studio for a day to dismantle the song and put it all back together. Dec's parts and energy added so much to the track for me, and after months of revisiting it, Late to the Party was suddenly complete. If I have any Irish viewers, if that was an absolute mangling of your accent, I apologize. I am working on it. Please give me advice as to how to do it better. If it was good, great. Yeah. But yeah, I did pick up on the resenting the baggage of past relationships. I guess some of it was a little resentful, but it is just a realistic thing to clock. Is that people are like, especially once you're in your like mid to late 20s, people have got baggage. Some of it's heftier than others. I've got some, as implied by the one line that hit me, but everyone's coming with a past. Everyone's been living, I've been living for almost 3 decades now. Shit happens within that time. That's a lot of time for things to happen, you know? But I love the way this was such a cheeky song, and I appreciate it so much for that. Verse 1, she says, "See, I don't like to think about your lovers who came before me, but I know they exist. The ones that got away, I got problems to pick with all your lovers who came before me." Okay, so maybe Rachel was right. Everybody just walks all over you. And now when we fight, I am on your side. See, I wouldn't bite or try to change your mind. So we're introducing this thing of like, I don't like to think about all the past people that you've been in love with, right? I know they're there, and I got problems, with what the effects that they have had on you that I now have to deal with. Maybe someone is a bit of a pushover. I'm actually generally on a little bit on that side. I am working on it, trying to stick up for myself more and more often. And now Orla is, accounting for that in this other person that she's with, and noticing the effect that person's luggage has on her and how she interacts with them. Then we get into the chorus, which is, "The room is falling all around me. I'm clinging to the car seat. Late to the party. Let me go back. Shake her hand. I want to give her my thanks for the damage she's done. I'm late to the party. And I'm late to the party. And I. Room is falling around me. I'm clinging to the car seat. Late to the party." So she kind of feels like she's kind of riding by the seat of her pants. She doesn't have all of the information that she feels like she should with this new person. She's just like learning about, what their deal is as she goes, which is kind of the case for anyone. Let me go back, shake her hand. I want to give her my thanks for the damage she's done, which is a fascinating way of putting it. I like that she describes this song as bratty. There's a strong element of like sarcasm and kind of sardonic tone to it. Let me go back, shake her hand. You can do that. I was in a relationship with someone that literally at a certain point, in order to like work through her own stuff, actually talked to the person that I dated previous to her, just to like, you know, sort some stuff out, stuff that she should be aware of with me, stuff that went on in my past relationship that might be relevant. I had no problem with it. I was fascinated that she felt okay with doing it. That's a thing that can happen. Like if you're the one that wants to talk to someone's ex and the other person is okay with that, you know, if you really want it to happen, you can make it happen. Verse 2, it's all part of the drill. Got big shoes to fill, which you don't have big shoes to fill. You don't compare yourself to, or try to compare yourself as little as possible, as little as necessary, to your partner's exes. You know, sometimes it's helpful and actually quite healthy to talk about sort of the differences in experiences between the person you're dating now and the person and the people you've dated. Maybe you can sort of talk about how things are better, how things are different, things that you get from this person that you didn't get from the other person, the things that you got from them that you don't necessarily get anymore, and how that's okay. That's all right. Not everyone is going to be able, like, no one person is going to be able to fulfill 100% of who you are. Please just get that into your head. If you're going to be in a relationship, do not expect any one person to fulfill everything about you. That's just not how people work. I gave you your favorite t-shirt. She gave you your trust issues. Yeah. Yep. I still have belongings in my room that are, you know, relatively in shot, that were given to me by exes. That, like, for example, that bookshelf was built for me by someone I used to be in a relationship with. It's a nice bookshelf. I'm glad I still have it. It's nice and small, but it holds a lot of books for what it is. But also, it's just a bookcase, you know? The reason I still have it is because it has function. It's not because I have that emotional attachment to it still. It's there because it's a good, solid bookshelf. And I have books to put on it. If I were to get rid of it, I don't know where I would put my books. So I need a place to put my books, and I had a bookshelf. So that's kind of that's how I feel about it. But also, you know, sometimes you get trust issues. Sometimes your past relationships keep you from feeling secure in any other relationship because you've had so many experiences of things ending when you thought that they weren't gonna end. You thought that this was the one. You thought that this was the one that you were in for the long haul, and then it ends. And now, even if you and now you kind of like keep yourself from feeling secure in a relationship because the last time that you felt secure in a relationship was one that ended up ending after almost 4 years. That's just something that happens sometimes, you know? Nothing to be done about it, but it does mean sometimes that your perceptions of reality are different from reality, and some things you do still have power over, you know? Just because you can really easily imagine that your current relationship might end, just because it's really easy to believe that that's like an inevitability, just because you feel that doesn't make it real. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's actually not helpful or healthy to operate on the assumption that the relationship is going to end, right? That's you owe it to whoever you're with to, you know, root for your own relationship, you know? Then there's a second chorus with Declan showing up The second half of the chorus is, and she's just like I suspected, a stranger, but the two of us are connected. Let me go back, shake her hand. I want to give her thanks for the damage she's done. Yeah, there is that weird connection of like, you know, mutual taste in partners. You don't have to think too much about it, but like it's there. But you don't have to think too much about it. You really don't. Just because the thought is there doesn't mean it's worth dwelling on. Then the bridge, which is you have it, you pass it on, you want it until you don't have it, don't pass it on, you want it until it's done. And then Orla, so that's Declan's part, and then Orla goes, see, it's a dress rehearsal, a pass the parcel. Her problem becomes your problem, and then that problem is mine. Which is a little bit more of a, like, sort of kind of pessimistic way of looking at it. It's kind of reductive, like, people are more than just packages of trauma. Like, people do change over time aside from their relationship experiences. But there is a little bit of truth in that, like, whatever stuff you're bringing from this one person, you are to a certain extent bringing to the other person. And part of, you know, making sure that that relationship succeeds is working out what you're bringing into it, for better and for worse. Acknowledging the things that you bring to the relationship that are very good, and appreciating those things, and verbally acknowledging that you appreciate those things, and also acknowledging the things that you are bringing from past relationships that may or may not be relevant to the new relationship. Sometimes you bring shit into a new relationship that won't actually be a problem, but if you keep acting like it's gonna be a problem, you're not really allowing the other person to actually have a role in that. You're just sort of like replanting this irrelevant problem into the new relationship. Like, if, for example, in the past, if you were cheated on, that hurts. That sucks. And it's unfortunate that that happened to you. But if you bring that fear into a relationship and you don't deal with that fear can become an assumption that the other person is going to cheat. And then if you act on that assumption, that's going to cause a whole lot of other damage that the other person absolutely does not deserve. That's my thoughts. That shit went so hard. That song slaps. Big fan. Let's keep going. Track 8, 3 Words Away. What are the 3 words I love you? Got a feeling that the 3 words might be I love you. There are other words that could be in a sequence of 3. Might be I hate you. Might be. But it's only 3 words, and I love you are pretty famous 3 words. Oh. Horns? Saxophone? Oh! What? Ooh! We got some weird... She's got so many weird sounds and, like, textures in this album, and I am such a big fan of it. That, like, weird, like, warped up saxophone in the intro there was so cool. Like, just hearing that makes this one of my other favorites on this album. Hopefully, like, it doesn't go downhill from here. I doubt it will. But good lord, that was an immediate pleasant thing to hear.
I used to same shit every night. Maybe everything is as perfect as it seems. And maybe I don't ever wanna wake up from this dream.
Nice. Oh, so cool. Oh. Oh. I don't. That's so fun. Okay. Nice. Nice. Going loud there. Love that. All right. Oh. Oh. so many of these songs, she's like using such sparse, like rhythmic choices that are hitting so hard. And it's something that she, has done in a lot of her past music, especially in her last album. But so much of this album has that in various forms. And I really love that that's kind of been the feel of this album. Very, very much enjoyed that element of what this album is kind of feeling like overall.
Don't think, never let it get lost.
Oh, I love that, like, that funky guitar. Nice. Very nice. Ooh, that's an interesting snare sound. Ah, more slow down triplets. Oh, okay. Love those hits. Ooh. Okay. Nice. Oh my God, she's pulling out the jams non-stop. It remains oops all bangers. Remains oops all bangers. How is she doing this? Oh my gosh, between the hard hits on Ruining Your Life and the sax parts and the like nasty, filthy guitar tone that she's pulling out here. Ooh, it's all my favorite things. And those like slow down triplet hits on the drums. I'm pretty sure I was correct in that the 3 words are in fact I love you. I think what we're talking about here is the feeling of having such strong feelings and not really wanting to let them out in their full capacity, or not really knowing how to do that. I wasn't really reading super closely into the lyrics, so let's, piece them down, see if that theory stands. Verse 1. Tell me all about it, babe, and take another bite. Sitting on the sofa, it's the same shit every night. Maybe everything is as perfect as it seems. Maybe I don't ever want to wake up from this dream. It's too much power. It's too much power is a weird way to put it. I'm getting the it's sort of like too good to be true. But to say it's too much power acknowledges this piece of agency in it that maybe the power is she has the power to say I love you and make things a little bit more serious. Maybe things are a little more on the casual side. Although they're already sitting on the sofa and it's already the same shit every night. But maybe it just hasn't been said yet. I don't know. Let's keep going. Verse 2, on the cusp of the greatness. It's the life I waited for. What a pretty privilege, babe, to be in love and bored. And it's sickening. What have I become? Wouldn't it be awful if it all just came undone? Interesting. Okay, so maybe she's feeling restless. Maybe she's got this aching feeling of things are too perfect, things are feeling too domestic, things are feeling too relaxed. And that little chaos piece of her becoming a bit more of an itch to scratch. To be in love and bored is a good thing. To be relaxed with this person. Wouldn't it be awful if it all came undone? Which is I'm picking up halfway sarcasm there of wouldn't it be the worst thing if something were to happen to it? But I think it would be. And I think she knows that it would be awful if she were to act on that restlessness. Which then leads us into the chorus, which is, it's feeling in the background, and I don't think never let it get loud. I'm 3 words away from absolutely fucking ruining your life. I'm freaking out. Maybe the 3 words are I'm freaking out. But I also wonder if she means it to be confusing between I'm freaking out and I love you. Because maybe the idea that of confirming that love is what's making her freak out. Because, yeah, the bridge, see, I love you. I hate that I'm all yours. I woke up, I ruined it. It's too much power. Maybe she's worried that voicing that she's freaking out is what will ruin it. Maybe she doesn't, maybe it's like she doesn't want to break the fantasy. Like, everything's so nice and like just perfect and neat and tidy, but she's so restless and just stir crazy that she's freaking out inside, but she doesn't want to acknowledge that because what she has is in fact a good thing, and she doesn't want to ruin it for the other person. Maybe that's the 2 things, is like this sort of a both can be true sort of situation is I love you and I'm freaking out. I love you and I'm freaking out because I want to explain that, like, I don't want to be bored, but I am bored. But I don't want to be because I don't want this to end, but I don't know how to deal with this. And this is something that seems to not be resolved, which is really interesting. Which, again, my advice would be talk about it. Worst case scenario, you can't work it out, but it's a conversation that would have needed to be had, and it's better soon than later. At best, the other person can be like, maybe I'm feeling the same way. What can we do to make things more interesting and also stay together? Right? Like, you got to give that other person the opportunity to react to that. You got to give them the chance to actually interact with how you're feeling, because this is a 2-way street. And if you're not expressing it, then you are denying them the chance to have their role in this relationship. Your feelings don't have to be the end all and be all of what to do about it. If you feel anxious, just because you don't know what to do about it doesn't mean that there's nothing that can be done. I'm going to keep going. Track number 9, Kiss Your Face Forever. Kiss Your Face Forever, but spelled with U-R. Perhaps as though this was texted to someone. Ooh. Bass immediately. Immediately bass. We got that tom and... We got that 4 on the floor tom and snare. Alright. We're still freaking out. Okay. Alright. Okay. Sure. Yep. Interesting. Okay. Sure. Alright. Ooh. That's fun. That's a fun little riff there. Ooh. I love the vocal hits on those guitar hits. Ooh.
Let's play a game of emotional monopoly in the name of monopoly.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's no stopping me. Yeah, I want the weight of you on top of me. Kiss your face forever.
Nice. Okay, interesting. Okay. Ooh. Nice. Ooh.
Let's play a game of emotional monopoly in the name of monopoly.
I love that line.
I have arrived, special delivery, but now you're never ever getting rid of me. Kiss your face.
Oh. Nice. We're coming in late. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, she's giving her. Nice. Ooh. drums. Ooh, I love those hits. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so much. That was so much. It was immediately a lot, and it continued to be a lot through the whole thing. I'm curious about what this is about. Luckily for me, Orla said some thoughts about it. She said, this song is about being in love and split down the middle by it. On one side, excited and energized. The other side, cynical and withheld. I really love the erratic guitars and the urgency of the drums in this track. Hearing the intro literally gets my heart rate up. Yeah, that very much communicates that. Yeah, and it gets that, like, the excitement and the energy of it. So we're talking about, like, excitement, but also, like, cynical self-criticism. Verse 1. As always, I'm freaking out, if that wasn't clear from the previous verse, or the previous song. It's a new sensation, don't know how. I'd want to kiss your face forever. You always seem so sure, you're vulnerable, delusional. Delusions! And I could kiss your face forever. Verse 2. Half yours and half unsure. Is it cute that I'm so stubborn, but still I kiss your face forever? When you look at me like that, you know that I could make a promise to kiss your face forever. And then the pre-chorus, which is fascinating to all hell. Let's play a game of emotional monopoly in the name of monogamy. Walls down, and now there's no stopping me. Yeah, I want the weight of you on top of me. Okay, play a game of emotional monopoly in the name of monogamy. So I guess that's kind of the cynical take on this relationship that she's in. This apparently monogamous relationship. Walls down, and now there's no stopping me. I want the weight of you on top of me. There's this very, like, unhinged energy. That's the sort of, like, kiss your face forever, which is literally just the whole chorus is, I want to kiss your face forever. A nice distillation of sort of what she's expressing is this very fierce, intense, devoted love, but also, unfortunately, logistically speaking, you cannot kiss a person's face forever. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news. Don't shoot the messenger here. It's just not feasible, you know? First off, we are temporary beings. We're gonna die at some point. Also, you can barely, like, there's logistic issues just to kissing someone's face for more than, like, an hour. You know, your lips get sore, the other person's face, it's diminishing returns is kind of what I'm talking about. Nothing against the person that you're kissing or the way that you kiss. Maybe you're a fantastic kisser. I don't know. But you can't, to a certain point, kiss someone's face forever. And because it's not entirely realistic, that's that cynical piece coming in to sort of combat this excited and energized and eager and intense feeling of just unadulterated love and attraction. That's kind of the unstoppable object versus the immovable object kind of thing going on here. Moving into bridge, which is, come on, coward, commit, come on, loser, admit to what you want. Already through the worst of it, no rehearsing it, no reversing it. So they're just sort of like this intense attraction and love is kind of translating into almost hostility, into, like, aggression. calling them coward and loser. Admit to what you want. Committing. So maybe she is kind of needing this, like, a monogamy sort of deal for herself, which hopefully she's aware of that, and also maybe, you know, acknowledging that that's not the only option. Maybe it's what she wants, and that's fine. That's valid for her. That's what she's most comfortable with. But it's not the only option coming from me. No rehearsing it, no reversing it. You gotta give it a try, you know? But it isn't something you can, like, she's kind of saying we can't just practice, you know? It's hard to, like, practice being in a relationship with someone without being in a relationship with them. And once you are in their relationship, you have been in a relationship with them. There's no reversing that. You can't really take that back. It's a choice that you've made. Kind of calling out the other person to make a distinctive, decisive choice, you know? Fascinating energy coming from this one. Also, not really one that seems to be resolved. I think sometimes, yeah, the song is just really expressing that, like, unhinged energy of, like, just being so intensely attracted to someone, but also having that other, like, sort of cynical, pessimistic voice combating it, and kind of where to meet in the middle there. Let's keep going. Track number 10, Who Am I? You're ORLA GARTLAND, last time I checked. But as someone that has occasionally asked myself the same question, the question goes a little bit past names, as I'm sure we're all aware. Ooh. Alright. MIDI drums. Alright. A little bit of a drum kit on a drum, or a stick on a drum rim. Alright. Alright. A little bit more relaxed here. Okay. Nice. I don't know if we're gonna get into a faster tempo. Maybe we will. But I like that we're hitting a quieter moment at this point in the album. We've had a few pretty high energy songs thus far, at least since Simple. It's nice to kind of have this lower pace here, especially considering what I'm getting from these lyrics. This is a nice little slow down stop.
See when you get sad, I find it all consuming. So can you just not get sad?
Nice. Wow.
Look like a fool, feel like a failure, trying to be your savior. Dancing around the room, trying to make you laugh. If I'm your everything, who am I?
Ooh, okay. Alright, we're getting loud. Nice. Alright, we're going big. Nice. A little bit of a solo here.
I'll try till it eats me alive.
Right.
And I'll do
Building with the bridge here.
Alright. I jump and I run
Doing a nice.
to the edge and beyond.
Alright.
For what? To my best till there's none of me left.
Yeah.
Been trying to be everything, but I can't be your rock, your lover, your mom. God, I've tried.
Are we staying quiet for this last chorus? We might be.
The person I want. If I'm your everything, who am I?
Damn. I like that. Musically, maybe not my favorite on the album, but, like, it's a good song. Just, you know, didn't have as many, like, striking, you know, rhythmic choices as some of the other ones, but lyrically, I'm a really big fan of that. I actually relate to more of this song than I would like to admit. So this song is about being in a relationship with someone that kind of requires more from you than you're able to provide. This feeling of like, if I have to be everything for this person, if I have to give everything of me and all of me to this person, what does that leave for myself? What's left to just enjoy of yourself if you're giving everything that you are to this other person? First one, I cut my hair the way you say you like it. Have I got no free will? I took the long way home to make a point about it. Now I'm late, but what a thrill. You can't be my responsibility. What if I want someone to take care of me? When I put it like that, it sounds so fucking bleak. And I want you, but not like this. This is a sad song. To cut the hair the way you say you like it is, we're introducing immediately a little element of sort of control in here, a little extra element of that is particularly unhealthy from the other person. Getting into the chorus then, been trying to be everything, but I can't be your rock and your lover, your mom, and I've tried. Now I'm not anything, just a painting that's meant to blend in with the wall. I'm tired. If I'm your everything, who am I? And I get that, because unfortunately I have been the person for whom someone has tried to be my rock and lover and my mom, and not that I asked them to be all of those things explicitly, but that's kind of how things turned out at a certain point. Like, a lot of the problems that I had not really worked out within myself fell on the other person to help me through. And it kind of gets into this thing of like, the person that you're with, should be willing to help you feel better, but they're not your therapist. They're not a therapist, unless your partner is a therapist, in which case that's a weird dynamic, and hopefully you work that out and set safe boundaries so that you're not, doing your work at home with someone that you're close to, because that's a whole complicated deal. But in most cases, you're not a therapist. Majority of people are not therapists, and then there are the small demographic. There's the smaller percentage of people in the world that are therapists. But for those of us that are not, you can only take on a certain amount of that help, right? You're only equipped to handle so much of that. Some of those things, like, as much as it would be nice for the person that you're romantically involved with to be that person to work all of that out with, there are sometimes going to be things that can't or even shouldn't be worked out with that person, because maybe you've got issues that are relevant to your relationship with that person that are better worked out with a third party. And I've been the person that the other person has kind of ended up trying to be my therapist, even though they weren't equipped to be that. And it was frustrating. And then, as we'll get into in the next verse, it becomes difficult and complicated to voice those complications. So like in verse 2, we see when you get sad, I find it all consuming. So can you just not get sad? I'll look like a fool, feel like a failure, trying to be your savior, dancing around the room, trying to make you laugh. So like, on one hand, you want to be able to help them, but also, if you have these complicated feelings of, I don't want to have to be your therapist, you can't just say, don't bring your problems to me. One of the more common things for someone to do with their partner is to talk about the problems. That's a nice, intimate piece of any relationship. So you can't just be like, can you just never have problems? Can you just never get sad or never have a bad mental health day? Because I'm not I'm only equipped so much to help with that. But also, at a certain point, it feels really shitty to be dancing around the room trying to get someone's mood up if you don't know what you're doing. And if the other person doesn't have the capacity to even communicate how to help, it's just a bad time for everyone. Everyone just feels bad, and it can create a lot of resentment and a lot of bitterness, and that shit breaks down a relationship real quick. Then the bridge, I'll try till it eats me alive, and I'll do what you want till I'm something I'm not. I'd jump and I'd run to the edge and beyond, and for what? Do my best till there's none of me left. And this is also getting on a point that I mentioned earlier, which is that you should never rely on one person to be everything that you need. You should never rely on one person or even like a certain group of friends to be all the fulfillment that you need in your life. It's just too much pressure, and you're not going to get what you want. Like, it's too much pressure, and no one's going to be able to live up to those expectations. Like, if anything, they're just going to do their best until there's none of them left. You have to let the other person be their own person and do the things that is fulfilling for them, and those things might not be fulfilling for you, and you need to find ways to fulfill yourself that might not involve the other person. It's really, really important to still have your own internal life outside of your romantic attachments, because as soon as that shit becomes super, super insular, it's just not healthy. Lyrically, that's really strong stuff. Complicated feelings to work through. I hope that it was cathartic and helpful to Orla to have written this song, because it seems like the kind of song that would have been. Let's keep going to 11, titled Mine. I think the last time I reacted to a song on this channel titled Mine would have been a Sleep Token song, which is one of my favorite Sleep Token songs. Not gonna try and stack this song up to Sleep Token, because we're talking about two very different artists / bands, but we'll see what this song called Mine has to offer.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Okay. Another slower, quieter one. I am. Correct.
And I've heard about boys.
I would hope so.
Yeah, you take what you want and you leave us some
Okay.
I was an optimist.
Right.
He said it seemed like I wanted it.
Oh.
Ever since then, it's felt like
I like all the
weakness.
I like the strings going on in the back there. Ooh, that's nice.
It's taken me 28 years to let anyone touch me the way I let you.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. Getting into some vulnerable shit here. Okay. All right. It's a short song, but we're getting into some heavy shit here. Oh. Ooh.
Kiss
Ooh,
me.
I love those scattered plucks.
Slowly,
That's so nice.
but not so gently.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, whisper a word in my ear like a secret.
Orla has such a talent for keeping tension in her voice, not in an unhealthy, proper, singing technique kind of way, but emotional tension is something that she has a great job of bringing across in her music. She does such a great job of, there's these little like wavers and little touches of vibrato that she'll do that kind of keep you aware of like stuff that she's trying to not open up about, right? Like she's trying to kind of keep herself together while singing about these things. It's a really, really strong talent of hers.
Always the fucked, never the fucker.
Whoa, okay, that's a line.
Rewrite the
Jeez.
rules and start from scratch again.
Oof. Damn. Damn. Ooh, and those high strings.
Remember the time you looked me dead in the eyes, and I realized that my body was mine.
Damn. Oh. I love that swoop upwards. That was so nice. A little bit of distortion left over for the end. Wow. Okay, and then that leads directly into the final track, but we're gonna stop for a moment and talk about this, because, oh man, there's some heavy shit going on here. Okay, she does have things to say about it. She has said things about it. She says, mine is by far the most vulnerable song I've written to date. Putting it out feels a little scary, but also hugely important to me. It tells a fragmented story of an experience that really affected my relationship with intimacy and how that stayed with me throughout relationships that followed. I wanted to give the lyrics on the song space to breathe, so we kept this production super minimal on this track. Yeah, I noticed that. Live vocal and guitar, and it's super beautiful, haunting 4-piece string part. Oh my god, yeah. Haunting is a very good word for it. This was my first time recording real strings on a song of mine, and for me, they bring even more emotional depth to the track. Correct. Yes, I'm really proud of this song, and whilst I hope in a way that no one relates to it, I hope it can bring comfort and hope to anyone who does. That's really nice. I like that. I hope in a way that no one relates to it, but I hope it brings comfort and hope to anyone who does. Yeah, I was picking up on that regarding the whole like intimacy thing. I mean, she kind of makes it a little bit on the more explicit side at a certain point. It's a short song, so we can go through the whole deal. Verse 1. You're just a boy, and I've heard about boys. Yeah, you take what you want, and you leave us in pieces. I was an optimist. He said it seemed like I wanted it. Oh, ever since then, it's felt like a weakness. So, very, very base telling of, I suppose, an incident that she had with a boy where perhaps some boundaries were crossed. Some things were done that she perhaps didn't want done to her or with her. Yeah, ever since then, she has been afraid to express any kind of want, is kind of what I get from that last bit. Is since then it's felt like a weakness to seem like you want something. And then the chorus, now it's not easy to do. It's taken me 28 years to let anyone touch me the way I let you. I mean, I'm pretty sure she is 28 years old. But this long process of sort of relearning intimacy and vulnerability in a sexual context. Into verse 2, kiss me slowly, but not so gently. Whisper a word in my ear like a secret, melted like butter. Always the fucked, never the fucker. Rewrite the rules and start from scratch again. Those last two lines kind of communicate like she has had to kind of learn her own agency and her own autonomy in these contexts, and kind of learning to be her own person as it gets into it in the final chorus here. Now it's not easy to do. It's taken me 28 years to let anyone touch me the way I let you. I still remember the time you looked me dead in the eyes and I realized my body was mine. That's some strong, powerful shit. Realizing in that moment of a crossed boundary, of a violated boundary, like your body is yours and you owe it to yourself to stick up for yourself and to vouch for what you want, and making sure that what you don't want does not happen in those contexts. And it sucks that whatever experience she went through, that she had to go through it in order to learn that. That's kind of the piece of like, yeah, I hope no one relates too closely to this song. It's the kind of song that you wish didn't have to be written, or it's the kind of song that you wish there was no, real experience to draw from. But I'm glad that she did put it out. I am very glad that she did put it out. Because, yeah, unfortunately, this is not a story unique to her. Fortunately, this is a thing that happens. It absolutely should not, but I do hope that it helps people realize that their bodies are their own, and that they should that they owe it to themselves to ensure that their needs and wants are accounted for. Yeah. We're going to keep moving into the final track, the title track as well, which is Everybody Needs a Hero. Is that hero Orla? I don't know. Maybe she wants to be that hero, maybe she doesn't. Right. Yeah, from that static going straight into this one. That's cool. Okay. Starting out quiet.
Don't be disheartened about it. You know I'll get there in time.
All right. I like the sound of that guitar.
No woman can be an island, but I can sure as hell try.
I like that you can feel the space.
I know
You have a very
I
open
need you
space.
Insecure that I need you, you need me more, and that's the story I'm sticking to. Everybody needs a hero.
Okay. Cool. Oh, are we switching it up?
You know I hate to admit it. It
Okay.
makes me wanna throw up.
Oh, coming in big. Nice.
I'd like
Nice.
to
Oh,
make
with the
an
dropout.
announcement. I'm not as tough as I look.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That's great.
I know I've tested your patience, been pushing you away. Everybody needs a hero.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, that was cool.
I'll say I think I need you.
Ooh, very cool. Good choice.
Everybody needs a hero.
Piano. Ooh. We're jamming it out. Nice. We're jamming out till the end. Oh, yeah. She knows what I'm into. leaving it on some feedback there. That's lovely.
Everybody needs a hero.
We got like 30 seconds left of this. Interesting. Okay. Just let that drone out for a while. You wanna come look at these lyrics with me? Come on. Look at these lyrics with me. Okay. You in frame? You can't just be yelling at me and then get mad when I give you too much attention. If you're gonna yell at me, I'm gonna give you the proportionate amount of attention, and that might be more attention than you actually want. Alright? Feel like that's fair. Look at this freaking kid. Look at this child. Okay, alright, you are digging your foot into my stomach. You look so grumpy right now. But you can't just yell at me. Alright? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Go over there. Go over here. Go over there. Thank you. Great. Final track. What a way to end it. Big crashing finish. Big fan. Feels like sort of a taking stock of everything we've been over and just kind of leaving some final thoughts on everything we've been talking about. Verse 1, don't be disheartened about it. You know I'll get there in time. No woman can be an island, but I can sure as hell try. I know I've made you insecure, that I need you, you need more, and that's the story I'm sticking to. Orla acknowledges that she's working through some shit. She's got some progress to be made. You know, she's put in a lot of work in the making of this album, but she's still got a way to go. Maybe there are still some hills to die on, as she's communicated in that last line. Pre-chorus, I know I've tested your patience, me and my brave face. I'm hoping you'll still be there so I can say, into the chorus, honey, I don't have much time. My parachute has come untied. I need you to hold me. Stroke my hair and tell me it'll be alright. I don't want to hide behind my ego. Everybody needs a hero. She's getting a little bit more vulnerable here. So she's sort of been like, I know we've had history. I know I may have hurt you, have done some damage. Me and my sort of brave face of trying to appear strong and stoic. But I'm hoping that we have still enough of a relationship so that I can call on you and say, I need you to hold me, stroke my hair, tell me it'll be all right. I don't want to hide behind my ego. Everybody, including Orla, I think is the point here, needs a hero. I'd say the bridge, which is, I'll say I think I need you. You'll say I know you do. Shut up. Which is great. I love how much information we get about the relationship just from those lines. It only hurts like this when you know it's true. My whole life been trying to fight it. What's the point though? Everybody needs a hero. Yeah, kind of just trying to get over yourself and ask for help. And also getting over yourself and getting over the dread of asking for a favor from someone that you know you've hurt. And being vulnerable about that, being honest that like there's still a relationship there that you want, that you're trying to work on yourself. The only reason it hurts is because there's something real there, you know? And that's how she ends it. Is just saying everybody needs a hero. She hasn't necessarily, I don't know if she's tried to be the hero for other parts of this album, I think so much of this has kind of been a bit of an anti-hero situation. A lot of honesty, a lot of vulnerability, a lot of acknowledging her own problems in relationships and just insecurities and how she's worked through some of those things and how some things that she still hasn't worked through. But so much of that has been thrown into so much fun, stompy, unhinged indie rock music, and I enjoyed every bit of it. That was a wonderful album. I would say one of my favorites of the year so far. That was really, really strong work from her. I would say I liked this album more than Woman on the Internet. Based on my own personal biases to certain musical feels and choices, I enjoyed this a good deal more than her past album. And that's all I got to say on this album. That was Everybody Needs a Hero. Big fan. Big fan. And hopefully you enjoyed it as well. If you have never listened to Orla Gartland's music, she's been around a little bit. She's got some music. Highly recommend you check it out. Highly recommend checking out The Secret to Life by Fizz, which is an album that Orla was worked on with a bunch of other friends, including Dodie. If you like this album, or if you just like Orla's music in general, you'll probably like Fizz. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, hope you did if you made it all this way through. You can click the like button if you liked it. You can leave your thoughts on these songs and other album suggestions in the comments. I read all the comments. I don't react or I don't respond to all of them, but I do read all of them at the moment. And if you haven't subscribed, now's the time to do that. Would really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel in a monetary fashion, because these are the only videos that really become the kind of videos that would make me any money, but they're also the kind of videos that immediately get demonetized. So if you want to help me find a sneaky way around that, you can head to my Fourth Wall site. I last month released some new merch celebrating the 10th anniversary of the channel. Check that out. If you want to become a member, that'd be huge. Get you some perks. You get access to a bunch of music reactions that YouTube simply said no, just flat out, to having them available, including the Fizz album reaction, as well as there was one song from Unreal Unearthed that couldn't make it. There's a newer Labyrinth album that I listened to, and that's all where the Fourth Wall is. You also, if you donate to one of the higher tiers, you get a nice shout out at the end of these videos. So if you want that, you can also get into our channel Discord server if that entices you. In any case, would highly, highly appreciate the support on Fourth Wall. You can also make a one-time donation if that's more your speed. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.